Hi everyone, and welcome to the Problem Statement Explainer session of the Asha AI Hackathon. I am Uzma and I'll be your host for today. We have with us some experts who will guide us through what is expected, what to build, and so on. There are a lot of questions of yours that will be answered in this session. So stay tuned for the entire session. But before we begin, let's start with seeing what this hackathon is all about. Well, the goal here is to really change how we interact with platforms using AI powered chatbots. We are not just talking about basic chatbots that answer simple questions, but we're aiming for much smarter. This hackathon is calling all the brilliant women innovators, developers, AI enthusiasts who are trying to build a chatbot that truly understands the users. And these chatbots that will be developed as part of the hackathon, they are, they will be seamlessly integrated with the Jobs for Her Foundation platform, making it even more user friendly and effective. Ultimately, this initiative is all about bringing technology and human connection closer, and it's about shaping the future of what we call agentic AI, where every interaction feels natural, meaningful, and makes a real impact. So get ready to see some truly innovative solutions. And since all of you are participants, I just want to walk you through the timeline. And as you know, the registration phase is done now. So 20th April, actually, 20th April is the deadline. So you can register until 20th April. Then you have to submit an MVP, which is a minimum viable product, where you show the features and functionalities of the chatbot that you have built. The deadline for MVP submission is 27th March. So please make sure to submit it before the deadline. We also have mentor mentee connects. So this will help you refine your solution with the help of certain mentors. We will also be evaluating the MVPs till 30th of April and announce the top teams on 2nd of May. Once the top teams are announced, we'll have a grand finale, which is scheduled on 7th of May. So that is the timeline of the hackathon. And these are the rewards. If you need any more motivation to participate, then this is it for you. The first prize is of 2 lakh INR. The second prize is for 1 lakh INR. And the third prize is 50,000 INR. So this is one of the reasons why you should participate. This is one of the rewards. The other is, of course, making a social impact and really helping a lot of women, bridge a gap between women and opportunities, mentorships, and so on. And we have experts, so I'm sure they'll also be able to shed light on that. So here are the speakers for today. We have just one second. Yeah, we have Mr. Murugan Arjunan, who's the Chief Technology Officer of Herky. We have Mr. Anand Babu, who is the AVP Tech of Herky. And we have Ms. Supriya Nair, who is the Senior Manager of Creative Content at Herky. So, over to you guys. You're on mute. You can unmute and over to you.
Guys, can you hear me? We're having a little audio issues in the conference room.
Now it's
Uzma,
fine.
can you hear me?
Yes, we
Thumbs
can
up?
hear you. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good afternoon. And again, thank you for taking the time to join us today. I think we are launching our hackathon from our Jobs for a Foundation. That's called Asha. Asha AI is the name of the hackathon. So I think we are super excited to launch this. I think Uzma probably set a little context. I'll give a little more about what Jobs for a Foundation is all about, and then I will have my colleagues Anand and Supriya talk a little bit about. Supriya will probably give a context about what does this mean to the women and what's the benefit and what is in for women basically. Whoever is actually coming in on the platform and what does this Asha AI offer to a woman. And then obviously Anand is on the tech side, so he's going to give a little guidelines in terms of how this hackathon solution has to be put in place. So some technical guidelines and guardrails is what he's going to give a little oversight on that, and that will help the participants to understand when you're choosing a model, what should I look for, what are the things I have to consider while I'm actually trying to put a solution. Okay, so that's going to be the walkthrough from all three of us, and we'll take some questions at the end of the session. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so as you all know, Jobs for a Foundation is actually a not-for-profit organization, and we have a very strong mission and vision for our foundation. We primarily focus on skill development, particularly upskilling, reskilling, and we also have a lot of. In fact, our Jobs for a Foundation has a lot of academy association as well. We have Tech Academy, Hertech Academy, and so on. So a bunch of programs we run on this foundation is for women, skill upskill as well as reskilling for women returnees. A large portion of it is actually for women returnees. We do a lot of technical programs and non-tech as well, right? It could be, I think we do Python, we do AI programs. So all of that is part of the skill development. The other thing which we are very very diligent and we stay strongly focused is gender equality awareness. We bring this strongly for the women workforce, and community building is a huge aspect. We started launch of the new platform in a little bit of close association with Hockey, because that's the platform company which offers the product and services. And that there, if you see, there's a community building among a lot of women in different areas of expertise. It could be for a cause or a particular area of expertise, like a technology, or it could be mom's group, anything related to career. They have different groups, private groups, public groups, a community to reach out. So all of that is actually also part of our vision for Jobs for a Foundation. One of the things we are actually doing in foundation this year, and that is the reason y'all are on this launch, we actually picked a couple of special projects. All are AI projects, just to give a context, uh, because those projects are actually being delivered from our Jobstore Foundation. I'll probably give a teaser of the other projects, but the scope of this meeting is mostly going to be for the Asha AI agentic AI bot, which we are actually trying to build out of this initiative, which is going to probably be the go-to person for any women, right, across India. What we're looking at is, you can come on to the foundation Asha bot and ask her anything related to career, right? And she's there to assist and give you that right information from the sources. She has actually gathered knowledge across various information with AI. Obviously, the wealth of resources are coming from different knowledge bases, and Asha would give you a very tailored response for that women who actually comes in the platform. So, and that is what is the project we're launching today. There are a bunch of others like agentic interview solution for tech and non-tech roles both. You can actually come onto the platform and start giving interviews. You can take mock-up interviews, and companies can host, even to do a lot of screening of candidates for the first, second, third round. And then skill gap analysis, AI powered jobs, and as well as career graph for a women. Example, if you're a woman at a particular career stage, and then you come onto the platform and upload your resume or your profile and say, okay, tell me what are my career opportunities out there. So it kind of gives you a career graph and map, and then also recommendations on how you can skill and get to that. So a lot of those are also is going to be part of the foundation initiatives. But I think in this context, we'll stick to the Asha AI specifically for the scope of this conversation. So that's about a brief about foundation, and we continue to do a lot of this. In fact, I have to say another program of calling out in foundation. Along with government of Karnataka, we launched something called Har Shakti, and Har Shakti is a program which also is related to skilling, and we've done a lot of skilling for a lot of women actually coming on under that program as well. So similar kind of programs. We also have tie up with Infosys and other large entities where we do this skilling, engagement and programs for different women across India. So that's another important aspect. So Her Shakti kind of programs are also under foundation, and we do a lot of that for the broader community as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so in terms of what is Asha AI Hackathon solution, what we're trying to build, these are some of the key offerings. All of you all have to be aware as participants. These are important to understand while you're trying to recommend a solution. Right, right on top is tailored career guidance for women, which means you come and ask any career guidance. Asha is supposed to give you the relevant information for that woman when she's asking something. And it has to be contextual and continuous conversation. For example, let's say a woman comes and asks Asha on, let's say today, April 10th. She particularly asked, I am so and so. She gave a little bit of introduction and asked and uploaded her profile or whatever she gave info. And then she looked for a particular job, or she asked for, can I join a community which I'm looking for? And Asha gives you a context about, let's say, join this community at Turkey. Maybe that's the right place for you to find your kind of people, your kind of community. You can connect and actually join that. And then she goes out, and then she comes back, let's say a week later. The context of that is maintained, and Asha recognizes that profile and says, okay, great, have you joined the community, was that helpful? And she takes the conversation forward. A classical example, if you a lot of you will actually still go to banking website, or you go to any customer services bots, right? Be it your broadband or your Airtel or any of these mobile providers in general, or e-commerce, for example, right? So it kind of retains, and sometimes you end a conversation, which means it's a brand new conversation. But if not, it actually takes the context of the previous conversation and continues it. So conversational AI is something around that. So be aware of the context, what we're setting there. And then we also have integration with women professional communities, which I gave an example about. It could be communities across different platforms, or a lot of communities which are already available for you to join as soon as you register on Hockey as well. So that is also at their exposure, they can actually explore that. And advanced AI capabilities, for example, you can ask questions, it can actually connect to an LLM model, or any knowledge base which is available, and then gives you that response. One other thing you have to be cautious, this is a women's platform. So most important aspect is to have those ethical AI with gender bias mitigation while you're actually looking for information. It is kind of a two-way moderation, to say, when a woman comes on the platform, I really don't know whether it's a woman, first of all, right? Asha probably needs a little more context. I might say I'm Kavita, I'm so and so, but you need a little more detail that is she the woman, right? And after you confirm she's the woman, the kind of question she's going to ask also should be moderated. And also look for, you have to do a content check. Is that within the career space, and is she asking the right question? If not, you guide that user, Kavita, for example, to the right question she can ask around the career. She can come and say, oh, I want to buy, let's say a headset from Amazon. The minute she says that to Asha, Asha says, thank you, but what we offer on this is actually career related advice and guidance, right? So immediately she kind of direct the user to say, oh, you can't buy things on Amazon here, but you have to tailor your conversation around career, right? Over a period, every user will learn. But what you guys are trying to build out of this Asha AI bot solution is, you have to navigate the user to what this offers. That's one part of the input, right? Second part of the conversation is when you are actually providing update or a response to the question, you have to be mindful. It has to have all the guardrails so that it is women sensitive information being written as a response. So you have to do that guardrail and fetch. And I think Anand will touch a little bit on that in the solution part of it, which means you could use any LLMs which is closely associated to women related responses you want to give. And that's up to you guys. You can do a research and come back and propose a solution as part of the hackathon. But the most important aspect you have to bring in is that gender angle to that, and make it women sensitive and women compatible to that response. And the second one is another follow through of that. Obviously, you have to ensure profane content is not thrown. You have to ensure the sensitivity of the content is not actually put onto the response, right? Or malicious links, for example, right? Any URLs, external links. So when you're actually looking a response from a model or a knowledge base, you have to apply a filter on top of it. Exactly. You probably have to run through that, apply this additional guardrail filter, then provide the response back to Asha, right? From a security angle as well as from a privacy. So be watchful for that. And I mean, guys, these are the important ones you have to put on top of. This is the value offering you're doing on top of the hackathon solution. And then the last two is mostly about performance monitoring, and you also have to be responsive. You ask a question, you can't take 5 minutes, right? The user is lost. So it has to be super responsive, and it has to be sub-seconds. So make sure the model API or retrieval APIs, what you're calling, all of them actually gets the response quickly for the user. Don't let the user stay on the screen staring at it, waiting for it. Right? So please make sure that is important while the throughput is. And the second aspect is you will start off Asha with a reasonable knowledge base, right? You know, I think we have Lakshmi on the call, and she's going to be one of the other. She's leading the project from our side, from Foundation. She comes with a lot of tech background and managerial experience. She will also, work with some of the solutions you guys are actually going to put together and give you use cases. Where it's going to say, for example, we have three different cohorts we support on our platform. We look for women in three different areas when you look at careers. One of the things I would probably put is starters, which is women graduates, which is coming out of college. And then the second one is restarters who actually work for some time, take a break, or late starters. And then the risers who actually are in the workforce, they want to actually continue to grow. So when you look at these three cohorts and the kind of questions they could ask, kind of support they need would be very different. So whenever you're looking for building the solution, you have to, look at which cohort where they belong, and then give more relevant responses while you're doing that, right? And it would again another three aspects you would consider for putting your learning models into fetching results is one broad bucket we call it as opportunities, second one is learning, and third one is communities. So it's kind of in your mind, look at it from a 9 by 3 by 3 9 grid, where you do the starters, restarters, and risers, and then opportunities, learning, and communities. So if you look at that way, technically you have a combination where you can look at what kind of response can I provide to a woman which fits into which grid, right? So keep that knowledge, and I think while you guys go down the solution conversation, Lakshmi will give you a little more insight into that. So, and it's important, so understand your user, and while you're building the solution, quick POCs to try out how this is going to work for different combination, right? So that's important to understand the offering. And then last but not least, obviously, it has to have an effective error handling and support. Whatever you guys are doing, please ensure you document it well. You put all your assumptions, your implementation details, so that it's clear when you give it to somebody else how this is actually being designed and implemented. So yeah, I mean, those are some of the key offerings. Repeat, take a look at this, digest it yourself, and while you're putting your solutions, keep these as your important things what you want to focus on. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, with that, I will pass it on to Anand.
Okay, thank you, Muru. So, everyone, again, a big welcome to the Asha Hackathon by Job Foundation. So, as you all will be building your own versions of Asha in the coming days, it's important that we all have a shared set of technical principles. Um,
Okay, use the mic.
Yeah. So, yeah, so these principles will help you to align with the shared goal that we have of building Asha. Okay, and so quickly getting on to the first item on the list, which is the context management. So we propose to use a stateless or a session scope context management here, and with that, we only want to store what is absolutely required to support that single session while you are in interaction with the user, and avoid any persistent user identifiers or personally identifiable information that you want to store, right? And in case if you are storing, please try and anonymize it and scope it to the session level retention only. Yeah. So this is one guideline that we want all to follow to make sure the outcome is very secure and kind of meeting the guidelines that we have internally. Yeah. And the second one would be the as Muru already walked us through, the bias mitigation, right? So all of you must have the understanding of bias in the conversations and things that done by general purpose language models and stuff. So this is very important for us that our trained model does not demonstrate any active bias, and it should be uh, trained, and the active bias mitigation is very important from the RAG perspective that you're building out. The RAG database should be countering the biases that is present in the today's general purpose models. Yeah, so that is very important for us. And so prompt tuning, model auditing, fairness awareness of pre-processing and reweighing is the key concepts that you have to apply here. And we expect these to be applied in your project to make sure the bias mitigation is done at a very active level, not at a passive level. Yeah. Okay. Also, it would be great if you could include mechanisms like periodic retraining, some feedback loops, and some continuous improvement mechanisms built into the workflow of the application. Yeah. So this will help us to mitigate biases which are not actively identified using the above mentioned model auditing or fairness awareness techniques. These additional feedback loops and all will help us to mitigate something that comes in the due course of time, and we'll be able to address that as well. So yeah, this is one thing that you have to keep in mind. Third one is session tracking. So it's very important that user identity PII is completely scrubbed off, and if you are taking the data for the feedback loop and retraining the model, please make sure the anonymity is built into it. Context storage and the in-memory scope that you will be managing has to be put in the context of the particular session alone. Yeah, and the retrieval, knowledge retrieval has to be to the point, and we have to have the RAG enabled for this on the data sets like the FAQs or the job data and community inputs for women across the data sets that you will be training on. Yeah, so basically make sure the data is trained and the retrieval is also to the point. Yeah, and do not get the model to hallucinate or get them to give out some random answers to the questions, right? So we have to make sure the model is evaluated and audited from that perspective. Yeah. Okay, so can you go to the next slide, please? Next slide. So this is the proposed data flow from our experience, workings with the AI models that we have done so far. So the user will be presented with the user interface, which will be backed by the natural language processing engine. And this is a very high level, so this should give you a fair idea of our thought process, and can align with your inputs and your creative ways to express the architecture. Yeah. Then the natural language processing engine will flow into the dialogue manager. So basically, that is basically what constructs the whole conversation, two-way conversation between the user and the model. And that will also have a shared context repository, which will basically handle the context in an anonymized fashion. Yeah. That will be flowing into the agentic retrieval mechanism, which basically connects with the larger trained models like the Sonat or Llama or the likes of the world, and you'll have your custom knowledge, which is powered by your RAG databases. Yeah, and you will have to find a way to club this information and present as a active conversation to the user. Yeah. So this is a very high level of our architecture and the data flow that we have intend to do for the Asha AI platform. Yeah. Can we go to the next one? Okay. So coming to the a very important topic is the guardrails and the safety concerns that we have with the Asha AI, right? So as you all know, uh, this is something that we have to deal with very cautiously. So, what Asha must not do is something like it should not be a generic purpose chatbot like ChatGPTs of the world, right? This is not that. This is very purpose-driven, impact-driven bot, and the generic advice, personal opinions, speculative responses are a definite no-no, and exposure or storage of sensitive information and PII information, personally identifiable information, is definitely out of scope, and reinforce gender stereotypes and producing harmful com- completion. This is something we have to be very aware of, because that's part of our the general purpose LLMs has the biases and the gender stereotypes data. They are trained on these data, so it's our work to actually remove these stereotypes and everything in the conversation, and we have to put in the active guardrail to prevent these kind of conversations from coming out to the user. Yeah. And yeah, and also yes, the user should not drift away from the career conversations that we intend for the user. So the user should be focused back on, if in case a conversation goes in any other direction, the user should be brought back to the context of the career conversation. Yeah, and by that you will be encouraged to do prompt engineering or system message boundaries using guardrails. Yeah, and you should be using guardrail libraries by a lot of providers today do that, like AWS, Azure, and all. Yeah, or fine-tuned classifiers is something that we can look out for to enhance your conversations. And yeah, offensive and irrelevant response filtering has to be built in, and monitoring of for hallucinations or unsupported claims has to be very, or unbacked claims have to be filtered out in the conversation. So make use of the appropriate guardrail libraries available in the open source or in the platforms to build out the proper filtering for the conversations. Yeah. So I believe these guidelines will be your technical north stars during the hackathon. Whether you are using NLU or NLG pipelines or context engines or model optimization or whatever that works for you guys, and every decision should align with these guidelines that we have put across. Yeah. So I hope that you have a good time building out that Asha AI. So this is, for us, it's not just an AI; it's just AI for good. So and it comes with a purpose as well. So looking forward to seeing everyone's prototype and have a very and amazing hackathon experience with us. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks, guys. Just a quick check on the chat. I think Uzma is going to moderate those. There are a lot of questions coming out from the audience on the comment section. Okay, so we'll take that. So Uzma, just keep a note of that. I think you can actually tell us which ones, some of them you can actually respond if you know. Some of them let us know if we have to chime in or your team can chime in. So just keep a type of it. Okay.
Sure, yeah. Towards the end, we can have an entire session where we can deal with all the
Great.
questions.
Hi, everyone. So it's a great joy to be here with so many brilliant women in tech. I'm Supriya Nair and I lead creative content for Herky. So my world is full of stories, words, experiences that shape how women engage with digital platforms and more importantly, how they feel seen and heard. So while Muru and Anand share about the technical aspects of what the bot should be like and all the guardrails, I would also like to tell you about why this hackathon matters. This is a chance for you to create something that truly gets what women go through in their careers. So because you're not just coding a chatbot, you're shaping a digital companion for thousands of women who want to grow, thrive, and feel heard in their careers. And that's where the role of empathy comes, with AI. So as someone from the creative side, I can't help but nudge you to think in the direction of where your chatbot your chatbot is not just a product, but it should be like a personality. So how would it speak to someone who just got rejected from an interview, or someone returning to work after 5 years? How would it talk to someone who is juggling a full-time job and a toddler? So this is your chance to build, not just an efficient chatbot, but an empathetic one. So a bot that listens, understands emotion, that gently nudges the user, cheers them, reassures them, and sometimes just says that I get it, because that's what ultimately if women just have someone who can hear them out, I think that's something that they would relate to the most. So that's where you could make the chatbot engaging through storytelling. So here's a little secret from the world of content. So people always remember stories and not just the features. So think of ways to bring your chatbot into life. So make maybe it shares like a fun anecdote before recommending a course, or adds a dash of humor while helping someone build a CV. I don't know if a lot of y'all have used Duolingo, but it doesn't just teach you the language; it entertains you with a quirky owl that celebrates your wins, jokes about your streak. It even guilt trips you into if you miss a lesson, what happens. So that is storytelling. It keeps users coming back, not just for the content but for the personality that you bring. Like even for Zomato, I think a lot of you all have seen the kind of witty, famous, relatable push notifications and inside the app that keep coming. Or so that was these are some of the examples. I think there's another example of Airbnb also, that it doesn't just show you the rooms; it also tells you a story about each host, why they started, what makes their space special. Okay, so you feel like you're a part of someone's home, and you're not just booking a stay. So that's why your chatbot will also have a voice. So ask yourself that what should that voice sound like? Should it be warm, confident, supportive, bold? So that's the creative call I hope y'all are also making. And we should also address the bias, when it comes to addressing bias and ensuring inclusivity. uh, it's quite easy to assume that most users are like us, but real inclusion means thinking of women who are restarting their careers at 45, or who come from tier 2 towns, who are the first in their families to work. So while building, also take a moment to pause and ask that who else am I building this for? Challenge the assumptions, remove the stereotypes, build something that sees all women. And that's the real world impact that you can create. So let me just share this something that fuels me every day. So when a woman says, I didn't think I could go back to work, but this gave me hope, so those are not just words. So that's life changing impact. And through this hackathon you will get a chance to build a very tool that offers her this help. Okay, and that's where we come to collaboration and community. Yes, this is a competition, but it's also a chance to connect. So everyone here brings something unique. Some of you code, some of you think are great designers, some of you think about user experience. And while you're working with your team, don't miss this chance to learn from others around you. And if this gets you excited, I would encourage you all to check out Huggy. uh, Hockey is a place where you all will find a space full of like-minded women who are building, learning, and growing together. And finally, I'll just leave you with this thought that AI is only as good as the people who build it. And today, that's you. So build with empathy, build with intention, and most importantly, build something that matters. So I'd just like to end by saying that we're all rooting for you. Thank you. So over to you, Usman.
Yes. Thank you all for your insights. I mean, the technical part, the social part, everything. I'm sure that it brought a lot of clarity to everyone watching. Now, I would just like to give a walkthrough of the hackathon. How to register, how to go about the submission, everything that you need to know to be a participant of this hackathon, in terms of the submissions and in terms of how to go about it. So, just give me 1 second. I'll share my screen. So if you go to hacktoskill.com, this is where you will land. If you scroll down, you will be able to see a lot of things, and at the end, you will also find the current hackathons, out of which Asha AI Hackathon is also one of them. So all you have to do is click on register now. When you click on register now, you will be led to this page about the hackathon. So here you'll find about the hackathon, you'll see the last date to register, which is 20th April. You'll find some information that we also shared here. You'll find the prizes, you'll find more details about the problem statement, the requirements, a lot of the things that are required for you to decide whether you want to participate or not. And everything about this hackathon is such that we highly recommend that you do participate, because it leads to not just social impact, it also has some really nice rewards which you can see on the website as well. um, so once you read all of this, once you see the entire thing, there are a few FAQs as well. All you have to do is click on register now. When you click on register now, you will be led to this page, which is the registration page. Here it will ask you for certain details: your name, email, number, country, state, all the essentials that we need to get in touch with you, to send you, emails, to give you, to keep you updated basically. So it will just ask you a couple of things here. Once you fill this form, you will be registered for the hackathon. Now, once you register, you will get access to a hackathon dashboard, which is where you get all the updates and all the necessary resources. So, for some of you, I'm sure some of you are also joining from the interaction section of the hackathon dashboard. So, that is one of the features as well. So, the first thing that you see when you come to the hackathon dashboard is the roadmap page. On this page, you will see all the updates or all the upcoming timeline of the hackathon. So, for example, right now, I have also already registered. So, it shows that I'm registered. It shows that team formation and MVP development and submission are currently open, right? So, it'll keep you updated with where the hackathon is as of now, as of the moment that you check this dashboard. So, it has the entire timeline again for your reference with dates and everything. So this is always updated, so you can always refer to this if you have any questions about the timeline. The next section here is team management. I was taking a look at some of the YouTube comments, and a lot of the questions are about the team formation part. So this is how you can manage your teams. This is what the team management page looks like. Here you can either form your own team, create your own team, or you can explore some public teams. So if I click on create a team, this is what it will show me. I can type my team name here. I can type a small description. Maybe if you don't have any other team members yet, but you are looking for somebody. So, like Supriya mentioned, some of you may be excellent at coding, or some of you may excel at UI UX. So, it's always great to have all the skills together, right, in a team. So, if you're looking for a team member who has a certain kind of specification or certain type of specialization, then you can, of course, write in the team description what you're trying to build or what the USP is, and you can encourage others to join your team based on the requirements. So, you simply fill this and you create your own team. Or if you want to look for a team, if you think there's already a team that you want to join, or if your friend has created a team and you want to join the same team, you can click on explore the public teams, and here is a list of all the teams that have been created. You can request to join a team, and it's up to the person who has formed the team to let you in or not. If you are looking for people to form teams with, you can of course join our Discord channel. We'll post the link in the YouTube chat board, or if not, we'll also be able to send you a mail of the Discord channel where you can join the Discord channel and you can interact with people. You can see if your bandwidths match and your capabilities, skills are complementing each other or not, and you can of course join forces together. The Discord channel link is in the chat box now. So if anybody wants to join the Discord channel and look for team members, please feel free to do so. Next tab is a very, very important tab, because that is where you will make your submissions. So this is what the submission tab looks like. Here is the submission template. This is a deck that we often talk about, that you have to submit a project deck, you have to submit a deck showing us, the specifications of your project. So in this PPT, you'll find all the headings or all the topics that we need from you. We need a brief about the idea. We need certain more details. So if you go through this deck, you will find everything that we need. We highly recommend that you follow this particular structure so that it's easier for the mentors or for the jury panel to decide between the best or the best. It'll just help the evaluation process, and it will also improve your chances if you give us all these details, because we have covered everything here. So everything that we need to know to evaluate your project and your MVP, it's here. So you can go through this. You can also download this, of course. Here is the click to download button. You can click on this and the PPT will be downloaded. Next, if you scroll down, this is not it. Okay, so there is more that you have to submit. The challenge is basically the problem statement. So there's only one problem statement in which you have to develop a chatbot. So that is the only thing that is here. So don't get confused. Now here you have to give us a link to an executable chatbot application hosted URL. What this means is that there should be a link where the judges click and they're able to access your prototype, where they can see how your prototype or your MVP works. So that will help us see the usability or the user friendliness and all of that, all the different features because of the application, the link. Now here's an MVP brief where you give us a basic idea of what you have developed, how you have developed it, whatever details that you need to share, you can type it here. Now the PPT deck that I showed you in the beginning, this is where you have to submit it. It's a very simple thing. You just click on this and you select the PPT and you submit. You also have to submit a demo video where you talk about the solution, where you introduce yourself, give a brief introduction, and then you can show us your MVP. You can give us a walkthrough of your MVP. We also need to see your GitHub code, your source code. So please give us a link here. Additionally, one more thing that we need is a user guide. So this is how, as you can see on screen also, it is the instructions on how users can interact with the chatbot. Here you can highlight your features and your capabilities. So it's a whole package and it's mandatory to submit all of this because it will help us evaluate your submissions. The next is forms. There really isn't much on forms, so you don't have to worry about it. If there is anything that we add here, we will communicate it to you via email as we communicate everything. So please keep an eye on your inbox. The next section is the interaction section. Like I said, some of you may have joined from here. Once the session ends, you will also be able to see it on the interaction section itself. So this is a tab where you can see all the sessions that have happened. This is the first session. And if there are any other sessions in the future, those also you'll be able to access from here. And this recording will also stay here. So you don't have to worry about, oh no, I missed certain parts of the session. Now what do I do? Just go to the interaction section and you'll be able to watch it. The next part is the resources. Now for the resources, we have a document here, which is a solution design. It has a lot of details about the technical aspects also, and some of what we have covered is also there. So you can always refer to this if you need any more details about the technical aspects or what you have to build, all of that. And then this is a challenge, where you can read about what you have to build or how to go about it. It's very basic information. You have more information at hand, so you can always come back to this session if you want to know more, or you can refer to the website, or you can write to us at support@happyskill. We'll be able to assist you. So that is for the walkthrough. If you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to type it in the chat box. Since we are done with the walkthrough, we can now take certain questions. So I will just do this. And like I said, I saw several queries about team formation. Another question about team formation we have is how many members is max? So the maximum number of team members you can have is 4. Solo participation is also okay, and you can also have up to 4 members in a team. Is it necessary to have women team members? Yes, it is. It is, a hackathon for women by women in a way. So you have to be a woman to participate in the hackathon. So it is necessary to have women team members only. I see a lot of people asking if there are single participations. So I encourage you all to join the Discord channel because there you'll be able to team up. There's a question by Avni. I think Supriya Anand will be able to take it. It says, just one second, I'll display it on screen. Yeah. Do we have to fetch data from Herky website for job offers, or can we also use other websites as well?
You could do both. You could actually refer to our website and as well as other publicly available jobs on all the career sites of every company.
Great. There's another question which is asking, are we getting LLM model API keys?
Okay, this is something we need. Uzma, do you have anybody from your side along with you?
Um, as of now, we are not providing any.
Okay, I think you'll have to get back to Sakshi on this once you have your internal discussions. For this project, they'll have to try their, model on their own, and when it is shortlisted, we will actually give a space to host for them, which will be, on the foundation will give an account on which they can host once it is shortlisted and approved. For the trial or during the development of the solution, they can use any open source models or whatever works, but they have to host it. But this you confirm with your team, Uzma, and then get back to Sakshi. Are you guys going to give any kind of API key from the LLMs you guys have, or will that be every user have to get their own?
Sure. They can use the free available APIs like Gemini and all of that, but
Yeah,
specifically we are not.
that's what I would recommend. But if they have any specific, you guys have any LLMs to offer, you can tell them.
We don't have any specific ones, but sure.
Okay.
Um, Another question we have is, will we get the data set related to this hackathon?
Okay, so I think Anand or somebody covered in the slide. There are two sets of data we will actually have. One, obviously, since we have Hockey as our primary source, that is one. But second source is always your World Wide Web, right? You have to look at across.
There are a lot of websites like Women Who Code, She Loves Data,
Hmm.
and LinkedIn Career Advice, and ONET, which is a US-based rules definition company. Then we have Kaggle, Hugging Space datasets are there for career advice, job skills, and FAQ datasets. And GitHub Career Bots are there. So there are a lot of sources external to Herky as well where you can look up and get your thing. And also you can scrape the data which is not blocked by any kind of a paywall or anything. If whatever data is available on the public internet, you can scrape it and use it for your RAG meeting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Um, there's a question about the tech stack that they have to use. Is there any specific tech stack that needs to be used?
So predominantly we use Python as a language, and uh, so yeah, we are not focusing on any framework as such right now, but feel free to use whatever works for you guys. Be Django, Flask, or Fast API, or whatever that works. But yeah, and it would be really great if the model can be hosted on Bedrock because we prominently have expertise on Bedrock. So yeah, if the model is hosted and trained on Bedrock, that will be really good.
Okay, thank you so much, Anand. Okay, there's a question about the mentor-mentee connect, so I'll take that. Purva, the mentor-mentee connects will happen in the way that we'll allot 15 to 20 minute slots to every participant for to connect with the mentor. And another question related to the mentor mentee connect I saw was if submission is mandatory for the mentor mentee connection. So while it is not mandatory to submit for the mentor mentee connect, but we highly recommend that you must have something prepared with you so that the mentor can take a look and they can give suggestions or give you some additional points to make it even better. So it's always good to have a base product to work with. And when the mentor mentee connects happen, we will communicate it to you. You'll all get like 15 to 20 minute slots to connect with the mentor. Lots of questions about team formation. I hope I answered them. We also have several candidates from Har Shakti who have mentioned that they are Har Shakti
Oh,
candidates.
that's nice. Okay.
Can women on a career break participate? I think the answer is yes, because
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
yes, all women are welcome to participate, of course. Um, for the coding languages, I'm sure Anand answered your question. Mm, For MVP, can I just show my prototype like a no code bot? So you have to show us a working prototype so that we can evaluate the solution that you have built. It'll be easier for us to judge when we have your GitHub and all of that because it's all a mandatory part of submission. So we need to see all the things that I mentioned in the submission tab. This is a question for you. Is there other features other than the bot? Is there anything else that they have to work on?
No, the scope for this is just that. I mean, if we can get this completed, that'll be great. We have others coming up in the future, but for now, the scope of is purely stick to Asha. But
If there are any other questions, a lot of the questions were overlapping, so we answered them together itself. Are there any other questions?
I think some of this, Uzma, you'll probably have to say there's going to be some master classes also, right? And mentor and mentee sessions as well. So some of these will get more clarity there. So I think participants, these are great questions. Thank you for these. But I think you should register yourself and then get to that next level of conversation, because there you'll actually get a lot more clarity of what are the things you can actually do and what access you need, what are the models you propose, and so on. So I think that is where I think you'll find a lot of these specific question and answers, because
There's
at this point we're only launching the program, and then you guys are getting a brief about what is the expectation out of it, right? So let's not try and solve solution related questions on this call. Please, these are great questions, keep them. And I think once you apply and shortlist yourself into the program, I think Uzma and her team will actually connect you with the right mentor, and that's where we'll actually go down specifically of what is that we'll choose and where we'll host and what model will create and where do I get training data, how do I actually access that, and all of that can be sorted out there. Uzma, does that make sense? Because I just want to give that answer to all of them, so that because I see a lot of questions on the similar lines.
Yes, there are several questions.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we will be taking this forward with mentors as well. So a lot of the technical questions and a lot of questions that they have right now will also be resolved. And if in case everybody watching, if in case you have any questions that we haven't been able to address right now, you can also reach out to us at support@hacktoskill.com and we'll be happy to respond to you. So whatever questions you may have, you can always reach out to us. I'll just post the email ID in the comment section as well. So it's easier for you to just click on it and send us your questions.
Uzma, I've got to leave. I have a hard stop at 4:30, but well,
Absolutely.
again, then you guys can continue for some more time. But thank you for participating on this, and this is a very exciting project for us. So, and if we can actually have a companion like Asha for every woman on India, and that'll be great. So please, keep that as the mission, and let's make this as a successful, launch of a Asha on Foundation. So looking forward for that. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Muru, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think since there are no more questions that we are taking, then I think it's a good time to conclude the session. All the speakers who are here, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with our participants. And to all the participants, good luck. And we will be, communicating all the necessary things with you when the time is there. So please keep an eye out on your inbox so that you don't miss out on any important communication. With that, thank you so much for joining. And thank you, Supriya and team.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.